Adrian Malik, a young self-made millionaire known for his strict discipline and cold demeanor, had never been the type of man to tolerate disorder, especially in his home. His twin sons, Liam and Leo, both born with severe hearing loss, were the softest part of his guarded heart, yet he struggled every day to connect with them. He provided the best tutors, therapists, and expensive devices, but somehow the boys still looked distant whenever he tried to communicate. They stayed withdrawn, rarely smiled, and lived in a world where silence wrapped around them like a permanent fog. Adrian worked long hours trying to build a future where they would never know hardship, but in the process, he had unknowingly created a home that felt more like a museum, quiet, polished, emotionless. One Tuesday evening, after an exhausting business meeting, he returned home early, loosening his tie as he stepped inside. As he approached the kitchen, he heard vibrations, deep, rhythmic pulses that seemed to tremble through the floor. Confused, he followed the sound, thinking perhaps something had fallen or an appliance had malfunctioned. But as he pushed open the kitchen door, he froze. There, in the center of his marble kitchen island, stood Liam and Leo, both barefoot, laughing silently as they danced beside a glowing speaker that pulsed with vibrant purple light. And next to them was Maria, their young maid, spinning with her arms raised, her blue uniform twirling like a wave. The twins mimicked her movements, copying her steps with surprising coordination. Though they couldn't hear the music, they felt it. Their tiny hands tapped the marble to feel the vibrations. Their eyes sparkled, not with mischief, but with pure joy. Adrian's shock turned into indignation. What kind of irresponsible behavior was this? The boys on the counter. Loud music. The maid dancing like it was a festival. Maria, he snapped, his voice sharp enough to slice the air. She stopped instantly, gasping when she saw him. The twins turned, their smiles fading at the sight of their father's stern face. For a moment, the kitchen fell into stillness. "Sir, I can explain," Maria said nervously. "Explain why my children are standing on a countertop. Why you're blasting music. Why?" But before he could finish, she stepped forward, shaking but determined. "Sir, they're not standing on the counter to misbehave. They're standing there because it's the only place where they feel the bass strong enough under their feet." Adrian blinked. "The bass?" She nodded quickly. "Yes. They can't hear music, but they can feel it. The vibrations help them understand rhythm. They were smiling, sir. Laughing. They were communicating with me through movement." She pointed gently toward the boys. "They're dancing because it's the only time they feel included in sound." Adrian's gaze shifted to his sons, who watched him with uncertainty. Their little hands lifted hesitantly, signing something. Maria translated softly. "They said, they want to show you too. They want you to dance with them." Adrian felt a crack inside his chest, something breaking, something awakening. He had never seen his boys this alive. Never this expressive. Never this connected to someone. "Come, Papa," Liam signed again, his tiny fingers shaking with hope. Leo mimicked him, repeating the sign with an excited grin. Adrian swallowed hard. The man who spent millions trying to offer his sons a better life was suddenly undone by a simple invitation. Maria lowered the music slightly and placed her hand on the marble. "Sir, feel it," she whispered. He hesitated, then laid his palm flat on the counter. The bass thrummed like a heartbeat, steady, powerful, grounding. No sound, but a sensation that traveled up the arm like warmth. Maria stepped back, encouraging him with her eyes. Liam and Leo watched closely. Their father slowly stepped forward, lifting the boys safely off the counter and onto the floor. "Show me," he signed clumsily, his hands stiff but sincere. The boys erupted into silent laughter, guiding his hands, teaching him the simplest dance, just swaying to the vibration. And then, something unprecedented happened. Adrian, tight, controlled, serious Adrian, began to dance. Not gracefully, not perfectly, but honestly. The twins placed their palms on the floor, feeling the rhythm, mirroring his movements. Their faces glowed with the kind of joy he thought he'd never be able to give them. Maria watched, tears gathering in her eyes. She had never seen a family moment so raw, so unguarded. In that kitchen, without sound, a father finally heard his children for the first time. Minutes passed like seconds. When the song ended, Liam and Leo wrapped their arms around Adrian. He held them tightly, understanding in that moment that money could never replace connection, and the best therapy sometimes came from the simplest acts of love. He looked at Maria. "Thank you," he said softly, "for giving them what I couldn't." She shook her head. "Sir, you gave them everything. You just needed to see what they needed most." Adrian picked up the boys and smiled, a real smile. "From today," he said, "music nights in the kitchen are mandatory." And as the scene faded, the narrator's voice would remind viewers, if this story touched your heart, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because more powerful and emotional stories are coming your way.